Calendar is based on Ron's soon-to-be-released book, Hope When Your Heart is Breaking. This beautiful 12-month calendar is yours free when you visit our website, awordwithyou.com.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President-elect Joe Biden says democracy prevailed in the 2020 presidential contest. Here's White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Biden welcomed his victory in the Electoral College, declaring the will of the people prevailed. In a speech to the nation, Biden said he received the same number of electoral votes that President Trump received in 2016, and at the time, Trump called it a landslide victory.
By his own standards, these numbers represented a clear victory then, and I respectfully suggest they do so now.
Biden said now it's time to turn the page, to unite and heal. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The largest vaccination program in this country's history continues today after the first doses started arriving for healthcare workers yesterday. Intensive care unit nurse Helen Cordova.
I know it's going to be a big hurdle to convince people because it's new.
Governor Gavin Newsom in California says the arrival of the first doses of vaccine don't end the pandemic.
We have to be sober and mindful about the moment we are in, which is challenging and trying.
Coronavirus vaccinations continue even as another drug maker's vaccine is getting a closer look. Here's Julie Walker.
Healthcare workers again will be receiving the first doses of Pfizer's vaccine.
Congratulations, Kevin.
Along with nursing home patients. 400 additional hospitals and other distribution sites get supplies today and then more in the coming days for a total of nearly 3 million doses. On Thursday, an FDA panel advises on Moderna's vaccine, which can't come soon enough. The daily death toll in the U.S. tops 2,400, according to Johns Hopkins, and is expected to grow with the holidays. I'm Julie Walker.
On Wall Street right now, Dow futures pointing up by 152 points. The NASDAQ is up 51. S&P 500 futures up about 22 points. This is SRN News. Michael Harrington reports there's some good news for Christians.
A Gallup poll finds that people who attend church regularly enjoy better mental health than those who do not. Only about 1/3 of Americans say their mental health was excellent over the course of this chaotic year, but 46% of regular churchgoers report their mental outlook has been excellent, and that's up from 43% in 2019. That uptick takes place even in a year when in-person church attendance has been interrupted repeatedly by the coronavirus. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Nigeria now is back on the U.S. list of religious freedom violators. The State Department says, quote, we are designating Burma, China, Eritrea, Iran, Nigeria, North Korea, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan as countries of particular concern under the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. This is SRN News. Weather experts say it will be close, but it's looking like 2020 globally will wind up as the hottest year on record.
Last month was the second hottest November in recorded history. That's what the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says. NOAA also says the first 11 months of this year are the second warmest on record. But agency officials add there's a 55% chance that 2020 will equal or even surpass 2016 as the hottest year on record.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart. The curtain pulled back now on the newest autonomous vehicle to hit the market. Zoox, acquired this year by Amazon, has unveiled a 4-person robo-taxi. It's a compact, multi-directional vehicle designed for dense urban environments. The vehicle measures just under 12 feet long, about a foot shorter than a Mini Cooper, and there's no steering wheel. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
If you're a believer in Jesus, man, death should be a party. Death, where is that sting? I ain't afraid of death. Bring it. Not right now, but you know. That's right, man. You're going to want to come to my funeral. I'm going to put the fun in funeral. It's going to be hard to be sad. I got a big bowl of candy on my chest. That's going to help some people, man. People walking by my casket, I can't believe you're gone. I can't believe... Smarties! Oh, my God. I love Smarties. Somebody takes 2 pieces, I grab their arm. Come on. Coming to my funeral, man, there's gonna be dancing, man. I'm gonna have music and a DJ. Just throw your hands in the air and wave them like it ain't in there. Oh, come to my funeral, man. It's gonna be great. There's gonna be a mosh pit, man. And don't just let me lay there. Get me involved. Pick me up, let me crowd surf. Just... You're like, man, you go to Hawkins' funeral? Yeah, it was awesome!
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James of the Quick Check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, we will see partly cloudy skies as our highs will be in the upper 20s. For tonight, skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy as our lows will be in the teens. For tomorrow, Wednesday, look for cloudy skies with a chance for snow showers later in the day. Our highs will be in the mid-20s. For Wednesday night, we are watching for a potential winter storm as we will see cloudy skies with occasional snow showers. We could see about 1 to 3 inches of snow as our lows will be near 20. For the long-range outlook, we will see partly cloudy skies into the weekend with chances for rain and snow showers in the new week. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
Yeah, and it's Tuesday, so it's like Monday 2.0.
So, Al, did I hear him say the S word in the forecast for tomorrow night?
He did. He said one of those unmentionable 4-letter words.
We could get a few inches tomorrow night?
I can't even bring myself to say it.
Of the white powdery stuff.
White powdery stuff, yeah.
That Frosty brings you.
Yeah.
And puts in your driveway.
Yeah. I'm not a fan, but I know you wouldn't have possibly known that from, that I'm not a fan of snow. But that's okay.
That's why you live in beautiful upstate New York, Al, because you get the change of seasons. You get the scenery that vista before you changes shades from the glorious colors of fall to the white of winter.
Right.
To the brown of your frown.
Yeah. One of my Facebook friends posted it because she wants snow. Really bad. And she posted, because somebody complained about it, she says, you can't complain about where you choose to live. And I responded with, yes, I can. And I do.
Well, Katie wants snow. Katie got a new snowboard.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so she wants snow. She wants to be able to go out in the slopes and try to break her ankle.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I would be pretty dangerous on a snowboard. I can't lie.
It's amazing because it's not as easy as it looks. Dude, when you were a kid, did you ever try to stand up on your sled and go down the hill?
No, I didn't.
You didn't do that, Al?
Can I tell you, when I was a kid...
You didn't purposely try to break your neck?
When I was a kid, even then, I hated the snow. My parents like, hey, sled. Hey, no.
Well, I had the kind of a household where I would rather be out of doors and away from the stepmom.
I gotcha.
So in the morning, in the winter, I would often gear up with three layers of jeans. Later on, I learned in Scouts, don't wear cotton when you go outside. But I would put on at least 2 pairs of pants, layer up, and I would try to go outside and stay outside all day, which would involve sledding on the hill. And, we had the Speedway runner sleds and stuff like that. And, so we would all go out and prep the hill and try to see if we can break our necks and see if anybody can make it down the hill standing on your sled. Didn't really happen.
I bet not.
There were lots of bruised elbows and shoulders and,
I didn't start
flying posteriors.
I didn't start getting outside in the winter till like the 8th or 9th grade, and that's because I made friends with a guy who loved the snow. And still to this day, I think he's nuts. But I hated. And when I was in elementary school, I went to Edmiston School, and they had this huge hill, out back. And I don't know if anybody else did this, but they requested people bring garbage bags with them to school. Because that was our sled going down the hill.
We've done the cardboard, not the garbage bags.
Oh, yes, the garbage bag. which you feel
that
absolutely.
Sounds like a little bit rough on the.
You feel everything there is going down that hill, and that was a steep one too. I remember that. Oh, it's not there anymore because they put like a parking lot in the back and they graded the hill and everything. But when I was there, that one really tall hill, and then the worst part of it is walking back up it when you're done.
Well, the one rule that we had, because we were in this trailer park with lots of kids, and I really could not understand it. It took people more than once of getting their ankles wiped out from under them. But they would go down the hill, and then they would proceed to walk up the hill on the shiny path that the sleds were coming down. And there's 10 other kids at the top of the hill that are waiting to come down. It's like, dude, you go to the side where we have the steps on the hill so that you can walk up the hill. You don't try to walk up the shiny path. And a lot of people, they would just keep trying and trying and trying. And it wasn't until some sled came down and tried to convince them of the value of going to this side.
Can I tell you something? I don't believe in natural selection, but there are cases that make me wonder.
Yeah.
And that's among those, like people walking in the middle of the road on a snowy day, people like that,
And it would be amazing that, sometimes it would take more than one physical incident in order to convince somebody of their wrong.
Physical incident. Yes.
You ever have a speedway sled crashing your ankles? Boy, that has gotta hurt. I have not, because I always walked up the side.
You had a little bit of the intelligence there.
I did.
You had a measure.
Because actually, I also liked making the hill as slickery as possible. So I was like, your footprints are gouging up our glossy surface. And you are slowing down my sled.
Yes. And you would be making my sled hurt my butt if you're sliding down on a plastic bag.
Oh boy, I could not. That the plastic bag thing, like it's cardboard, and we even did cardboard on grassy hills.
Yeah,
you could get that to happen. Not nearly as fast, but you could get that to happen.
Yeah, well, they were back when I was a kid, people were crazy. So that's that. That was back when
those of us who survived are old crazy.
Yes, that's back when the playground had the merry-go-round and it had gravel around it. Fly off of that thing once or twice, and and it wasn't the days when the playground was plastic and rubber.
You would fall off and get stoned.
Yeah, a little bit. And what's funny? We used to play a game called "How Sick Can We Make Our Friends?"
Oh yes,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Or you get the thing whipping, and you see the kid with the fear in his eyes and his fingers barely holding on to the pole. Gonna happen any second now.
And you remember the slides that were metal and you'd need a skin graft by the time you got to the bottom of them on a hot summer day?
I remember slides that you had airtime.
when you came off the bottom?
Got off the bottom, yeah. When we lived in Puerto Rico, we had it was famously called in second grade the big slide.
The big slide.
And were you brave enough to fly down the big slide? Because when you hit the end of the big slide, there was you could count for a while before.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch a season of one of those count with the count things, before you actually hit the ground.
All right, let's get things started.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for a new opportunity to praise you. We pray, Lord, for health and wisdom. And Father, we pray as we enter this day that we hear your word, walk in your steps, that we be filled with your Holy Spirit and manifest your greatness, your goodness, and your love here on this earth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We're the Valley Voice for Christ. 88.1 and 90.9 WVVC Dolesville and WNGG Gloversville. Merry Christmas from WVVC.
Subside.
Rhonda Gunn on WVVC 88.1 FM. You all right over there, Walt? Can I get you a drink of water?
I got like COVID in the back of my throat or something.
Don't say that too loud. Holy cow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. It is already 13 minutes past 7, and we have not started the local news yet. We probably should do that. Let's get that moving. Oh.
Now, your local headlines from the Breakfast Club.
All right. Well, there's a theme. UPD investigating a shooting on the 1300 block of Mary Street. Okay, this took place on yesterday evening. Okay, Utica police say they were dispatched to St. E's around 8:40 regarding a walk-in gunshot victim. When they got there, they were directed to a woman who was located in one of the trauma rooms. She had one gunshot wound to her mid-back area.
Oh, boy.
Police say the shooting happened at the 1300 block of Mary Street. The woman was seated in a vehicle and was struck by gunfire. She was then immediately transported to the hospital where she remains in stable condition at this time. No suspect, no information, nobody's talking. If you know anything, they want you to call Utica Police Major Crimes Unit, 315-223-3556. Or you can keep it anonymous by going to MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com.
Are we continuing our Wild Wild West theme from yesterday?
Apparently. And speaking of yesterday, we do have an update from yesterday's story. That shooting that happened really early Monday morning, it was 17-year-old Jazir Johnson who was shot to death on the 1400 block of the City Street right around midnight. This is the 8th homicide of 2020 in the city of Utica. 17 years old. Police say investigation continues. And again, anyone with information has to call the Utica Police Major Crimes Unit, 315-223-3556. Or, of course, keep it anonymous at MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com. And we have a color theme now.
Oh, boy.
Okay, yes. Large portion of Oneida County is now under the state's COVID-19 yellow zone guidelines. This is we told you this was happening. It was going to happen yesterday.
Yellow alert.
Yellow alert. Governor Andrew Cuomo made this announcement on Monday. The yellow zone covers a large section, including the town of Lee in the northwest to just over the Herkimer County line to the southeast. The cities of Utica and Rome, of course, included. The governor says Rome, Utica, and Oneida County, there's a problem there, and we have to start to be honest about it and address it. Okay, this would be Cuomo's response. Restrictions in this yellow zone include public indoor gatherings limited to 25 people.
No more than 25.
Indoor dining allowed, but a maximum of 4 people at any given table. Bars and restaurants must close at 10 p.m. Private in-home gatherings, yes. The governor has decided that he can tell you how many people you can have in your house. And that magic number is 10. Okay. Businesses at the moment can stay open and schools can stay open. But the details about the schools weren't in this in the information I had, but I know it's something like
there's fine print to that?
Yes. They have to test for a certain amount of time, and then if a certain amount of time goes by, they don't have to test anymore. But if they keep testing and they keep getting more positives, then they have to switch to one of their distance learning kind of
I see
situations. So yeah, how's that for speeding through the news?
We got celebrations today.
We got some celebrations. Today is Hanukkah 5.
Hanukkah 5.
The return of the menorah. Hanukkah 5. It is also National Cupcake Day.
Cupcake Day.
Although don't refer to people as cupcake. They don't like that.
I don't know. Miss Kimmy kind of likes to be called cupcake.
Cupcake? Yeah. It is also separate but equal Lemon Cupcake Day. So yes, we have 2 cupcake holidays. One is a very generic Cupcake Day, and then we have a very specific Lemon Cupcake Day.
Lemon Cupcake.
That's
Day.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Today is also National Bill of Rights Day, and we'll be talking about that in our On This Day in History. But it is National Bill of Rights Day. It is also Cat Herders Day. Yes.
Cat herders.
Yes, as opposed to cat hoarders. That's a whole other thing.
When you're down at the cat ranch and you're herding cats.
And you're herding your cats. Not herding H-U-R-T, but herding H-E-R-D.
cat herding day.
And why are we herding cats?
Well, if you collect them,
are they the other white meat? Are we
goodness.
making cat fur coats? Are we? No, none of that, huh? None of that.
None of that there.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
also,
gonna have all sorts of pet lovers.
Yeah. It is also National Wear Your Pearls Day. So, Walt, if you need to go home,
I'm not that kind of guy.
And grab your pearls. It is National Wear Your Pearls Day. Oh, my goodness. Your WVVC Gas Tracker brought to you by Big Dog Motors.
Big Dog Motors, where Todd Gookin's got everything you need to keep your wheels rolling smooth. He's got the mechanical shop. He's got the body shop. He can do inspections. He can do inspections on big boy toys or maybe inspect your RV. You can even go online and schedule your inspection if you wanted to.
There you go. All right. So let's talk. Before we do that, let's actually give the contact stuff. All right. Big Dog Motors, 315-444-9028. Their web address, Big Dog Motors, Inc., and they're located at 4262 Acme Road in Frankfort. Make sure you tell them you heard it here on WVVC. I'm hurrying right through so we can get to the fun national stuff. Okay. All right. Cheapest gas today is Speedway down there on Commercial Drive and Greenman Ave at 217. Mohawk Fuel ties them right up with 217.
217?
All right. And then Burn Dairy on Oriskany Boulevard, 219. Sunoco and A-Plus on Kellogg Road, 219. Speedway on North Genesee Street, 219. Speedway on Oriskany Boulevard, 219. Kenny Drugs on Oriskany Boulevard, 219. And that ends the 219 club. Burn Dairy on 5 and Clinton Road is 227. Citgo on Commercial Drive is 229. I remember when that Citgo was full serve. I miss those days. Sunoco on Mohawk and Eagle is 232. Most expensive gas you're going to find today is Fast Track on Herkimer Road, and that is 241.
241.
241. That's the one down there in Schuyler. All right, so what's going on outside the area, Walt?
Well, Al, as you know, the Electoral College met yesterday and voted in Mr. Biden as our 46th president.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I bring doom, despair, and agony.
Yes. I bring some odd news to go along with that. Now, you heard that Michigan, they kept GOP electors out of the building?
Yes, that was coming up. There were Republican electors that wanted to go into the Michigan legislatures.
Yes.
Okay? And they were blocked by a police officer under Executive Whitmer's orders.
Yes.
Under the governor's orders, Republican legislative representatives were not allowed in the legislative building in Michigan.
Okay, now here is what that deal was all about, okay? And I found out that this is not unprecedented, but in 4 states, I believe. I know Pennsylvania was one of them. Arizona was one of them. Nevada, was it Nevada? There were
Pennsylvania.
Yep. The Republican electors actually went in and cast their votes for Donald Trump. Which the point of that, because people are like, well, why you're not supposed to do that? That's. But the reason why is there are legal challenges. Okay, and if these legal challenges actually become anything, they need to have that. Okay, now, they did this without publicizing that they were going to do it at all. They didn't let anybody know they were going to do it. I think Whitmer must have had the foresight to think that they might try to do that, which is why they blocked them out.
Yeah, what I find amazing is that Whitmer used armed force to keep out members of the other party. Okay, it's a public legislative building, and you're a legislator, and you actually used an armed cop to keep out people of the opposite party.
Okay, now do you remember if you the reason this is not unprecedented is if you go back to the Nixon versus Kennedy election. Okay,
very close election.
Very close election, and Hawaii, it was disputed. Okay. So Hawaii actually had both their Republicans cast their votes for Nixon and their Democrats cast their vote for Kennedy because they were challenging it in court. And if they prevailed in court, they still needed to have those electors, those electoral votes counted. So you actually had to have that done. And I believe it's completely legal. So it's not unprecedented. So the concept that Whitmer decided that she was going to keep by force the Republican electors out of the building, that says something right there. You know,
that is absolutely. Republicans did dispute the officer's claim, and the sergeant said the governor's staff identified the electors who could gain entry.
Yes.
So the governor's staff identified who's allowed to walk into the legislature.
And who's not.
It can't be that you're a legislature and you can walk in. 16 Democrat electors convened in the Senate at about 2 p.m. to cast ballots for former Vice President Joe Biden and California Senator Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Another thing I want to put out here. I was watching Life, Liberty, what is it? Yeah, Life, Liberty, and Levin last night. And he was saying that the first forensic audits of the Dominion voting machines came back yesterday morning. Did you hear about this one?
I heard about one particular county in Michigan.
Yes.
That had a 68% error rate.
Yes.
68%.
Yes. And that's why he says now more than ever it's important that those electors were allowed to actually enter the buildings, because now there's a legal leg to stand on.
There have been legal legs.
Yes.
There have been legal legs. There's more than one lawsuit in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's more than one issue
in
Michigan. And for Gretchen Whitmer to not allow members of the legislature to even enter a public building, by her order. Who's the Nazi here?
Yeah, I know. And they like to call the Republicans the fascists. Fascists.
Yeah. Who's the Nazi?
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Okay, so Biden took to doing an acceptance speech last night, which he coughed and hacked his way through. So, the question that you had the other day, which actually still remains unanswered, I believe.
Yeah.
If he kicks the bucket between now and January,
what happens?
Who's going to be the vice president?
Okay, I have what I believe is the answer after digging. If something happens to Joe between now and the time
January 16th, I believe is the day.
Yeah. Of course, the vice president will become president.
Right.
And she gets to decide who that.
She gets to pick.
She gets to pick. Just like, because Joe picked her.
Right.
She will very much be able to pick her own running mate or her own vice president. Now, keep in mind that
maybe Stacey Abrams.
Yeah. Honestly,
let's see.
if I'm going to put a prediction out there. I believe it would be the crazy ticket. I think she would.
Nancy?
No. I think she would stick Hillary in there, and that's what I think would happen.
She wouldn't live long if she put Hillary in there.
Yeah,
Hillary. I mean, if you look at the Clintons, you're going to find a history of short-term lives.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just truth be spoken.
Yeah. Anybody who stands in the way of a Clinton.
Yes. Yeah. There actually is a litany.
Yes.
Of such matters.
I heard somebody mention, what about AOC? What would stop her from putting AOC in that seat? Well, I can tell you what would stop her. It's called the age limit. You have to be a specific age. I can't remember if it's 38 or 40. I think it's 38, because I think Bill Clinton was that age when he was elected president. He was, I think, one of the, if not the youngest, to be elected.
I know when Kennedy was elected, he was the youngest.
Okay,
so I don't know if Clinton was younger than him.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Okay.
But I remember it being either 38 or 40, if I remember right. And AOC, thank goodness, does not qualify along those lines.
So in Biden's speech, he gave an angry partisan speech Monday evening upon being voted the winner of the 2020 in the Electoral College. Now, he did not just acknowledge victory. He actually taunted his opponent, President Donald Trump. And rather than celebrate the result and reach out to Trump and his supporters, Biden, coughing during his speech, attempted to rub salt in the wound, continuing to argue the case after he had already won it. Now, keep in mind, Biden was one of the Obama administration officials who unmasked Michael Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He also eagerly agreed with a voter who called Trump an illegitimate president. He called Trump a Nazi sympathizer and compared him to Goebbels and Hitler. Biden has never apologized for these things, but he's calling everybody for unity.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous.
Okay? It's like, I'm going to stand over here and I'm going to do all these nasty things, and you guys should all come with me and, and agree with me. Okay? He declared that the election was free and fair in his speech.
Anything but. Oh, and by the way, to be
I don't know. Is he in the same country as you and I are? Maybe he hasn't been watching the headlines.
To be president, 35 years old. You have to be 35.
Okay.
And you have to be a resident of the United States for at least 14 years, and you have to be a natural-born citizen. You can't be
right.
You can't be born in another country.
Yep.
So there you go.
Okay. Biden reminded Americans that Trump fired cybersecurity chief Chris Krebs after Chris Krebs claimed publicly that the 2020 elections were the most secure in history. But Krebs was decidedly less credible when Google and other networks had crashed, and after a weekend when the U.S. discovered massive security breach at the Treasury and Commerce departments.
Yep.
The breach began earlier in the year and has lasted for months. Okay, so this is the guy that has got Google crashing. We have giant leaks in our system, and he says, everything is safe.
Yeah, right.
Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good to me.
No. Sounds pretty stupid.
Okay, we talked about our 68% error rate in Michigan. And this is just one of the small counties. Okay? We're not even going into the Detroit County.
Yeah.
Okay, where who knows? Could be worse.
Yep.
This is just one of the small counties where and the other thing that is amazing about this, when they found this out, they did not want to release the results. It took a judge's order to get the results released.
Wow.
No cover up here.
No, not at all.
Everything's free and fair and safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that happened during Biden's speech yesterday, he refused to take any questions from the press on his son's legal troubles.
I'm sure he did.
Okay. Despite the issue that has dominated the news cycle, about the laptop and Junior hanging out and getting all that money from China and Ukraine and all that other kind of stuff, the president refused comment on the situation. Instead, Biden cheekily thanked the reporter asking the question, saying, "Thanks for the congratulations. I appreciate it."
Oh, man.
You know that Chinese proverb, "May you live in interesting times"?
Yeah.
I believe we do, Al.
We do.
I believe we live in very interesting times. And Biden did admit that he had a bit of a cold during his speech, which is why he was hoarse and coughing and made his way through.
Comforting.
So, yeah. And in even higher amazement factor stuff, I'll just put this out. Attorney General Barr put in his notice.
Yes.
He is resigning. On
Yes.
the 23rd, he will no longer be a part of the Trump administration.
Yeah, so now the debate is, did he actually resign? Or was it requested that he resign?
The amazing thing about Attorney General Barr that I do not understand at this point in time is he knew of the issues with Biden Jr.
Yeah.
Okay? Biden.
Yeah.
And he actually kept it under wraps during the course of the election.
Yeah.
He kept this under wraps because he didn't want it to throw the election. I'm like, that's tantamount to the character of the person who is running for president.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, it's one thing if your child is doing something, whatever, but when you're involved in it.
And he was involved in it.
Yeah.
Because remember, the big man gets 10%.
Yep.
Okay, so he was involved.
Yep.
And there are emails on his laptop that directly connect the two of them, even though Biden has consistently lied, saying that he knew nothing. He did not know of his son's business. Okay? And this is consistent. Now, can you imagine if you look into the Biden family the way the Democrats looked into the Trump when Trump was president-elect?
Yep.
Okay? I mean, this started before President Trump took oath.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They were chasing him down. Why don't we go look into the Bidens like that? You think that's going to happen?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, because they're being thrown a lot of cover, both by the media, by the FBI, by the Justice Department. Everybody's throwing him shade.
Twitterland.
By protection.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very
by
true.
the masters of the universe.
Yep.
All righty. Well, it is bottom of the hour, and the bottom of the hour weather is brought to you by the folks at Media Partners Group, 768-0277. They can take your old tapes, your old films, and your old slides, and they can digitize them, put them onto a DVD, a thumb drive, or a hard drive, whatever it is you would prefer. They're located at 188 Main Street in New York Mills.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James of the Quick Check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, we will see partly cloudy skies as our highs will be in the upper 20s. For tonight, skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy as our lows will be in the teens. For tomorrow, Wednesday, look for cloudy skies with a chance for snow showers later in the day. Our highs will be in the mid-20s. For Wednesday night, we are watching for a potential winter storm as we will see cloudy skies with occasional snow showers. We could see about 1 to 3 inches of snow as our lows will be near 20. For the long-range outlook, we will see partly cloudy skies into the weekend with chances for rain and snow showers in the new week. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
Isaiah 7:14. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and we'll call him Emmanuel. Merry Christmas from 88.1 and 90.9 WVVC FM.
loving the outcome. The God I know. WVVC 88.1, 90.9. Good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning.
23 whole degrees in Herkimer.
It's about 10 degrees colder than it was yesterday at this time.
It was cold, but not
this
really
cold.
bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Al, did you hear about the new Mustang?
The Mach-E.
The Mach-E.
Yes. It kind of looks like a crossover. It's weird because Ford decided what they were going to do is because for people who don't know, Ford discontinued almost every car in its lineup. There's no more Taurus. There's no more Fusion. There's none of that. They're gone. Okay, the only car left in Ford's lineup, well, there's two. There's a Focus crossover, not even the regular Focus. It's a Focus crossover, and the Mustang, which, by the way, is not a single car anymore. It's a car line. They're planning on expanding the Mustang into a car line. That's why you now have the Mustang Mach-E, which does not look like a regular Mustang. It looks like an SUV. If you take a look at the car, it's like it's almost like an oversized,
like a crossover.
Looks like an oversized station
sedan
wagon.
SUV thing.
Yes, yes. And they're saying that it's going to get a very hefty mile rating.
It can do about 300 miles. Okay, on a charge. And it can also get you from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds.
Yes, it's got a lot of horses.
That is buku's a zoom zoom.
Yes.
It maxes out at 1,400 horsepower.
Whoa. Yes, for an electric car.
Now, I know you're a Ford fan, so you're probably more familiar with these things than I am. All four wheels drive. All four wheels have motors.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
See, this one I'm not positive on, but I'm pretty sure.
Because, I'm wondering when it comes to, like, Indy races or NASCAR, are they going to start putting electric in here? Because if this car can go 300 miles, and it has now, I know that in Indy cars, I'm pretty sure that in Indy car racing, you are not allowed four-wheel drive.
Right.
Okay, only the two rear wheels. Right. And if they put electric cars out there, no pit stop.
Yep.
If you can keep the rubber going.
Well, there'll be pit stops.
Have to do pit stops.
But here's the other problem. Okay, right now, the car has a limit of 300 miles.
Right.
Well, that right there would mean that the Daytona 500 would be out of the
right.
Yeah. And there are a lot of 400 and 500 mile races.
You're approaching that limit.
Yes, you are. There.
Pretty soon, hopefully, as battery technology continues on, maybe that'll become 1,000 miles.
Did you hear about
after a while?
Did you hear about the Cadillac brand?
No.
Okay, Cadillac is on the path to become a fully electric.
Oh, are they?
Yes, they plan to, and I'm trying to remember what their timeline was.
And how long?
That's what I'm trying to remember. But the dealerships were recently offered a buyout. If you don't want to be an electric car dealer, we will buy your franchise out, and that a lot of them did.
Cadillac?
Yes, a lot of the Cadillac dealerships took a buyout because they didn't want to sell electric cars.
No kidding.
Yeah, so because Cadillac intends to eliminate the.
Now here's a big consideration that now that we're on the cusp of this era. Okay, a lot of your road repairs are paid for by gasoline taxes.
Yes,
Although specifically your gasoline taxes, which are, I think, in New York State, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it's a fairly hefty amount.
It is.
I believe it's like 20 or 30 cents a gallon.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Part of it is federal and part of it is state.
Yep.
But that money is supposed to go for road repairs.
Yeah.
A large portion of it does not.
Yeah.
It is absconded by the state.
Yep.
Okay, to use for whatever things they want to. But regardless, some of that money is used for road repairs. Now that you have an electric car, where is the money that is going to be used to maintain the highways going to come from?
Well, I can tell you I've heard about this. They're talking about imposing, when you file your taxes, imposing a tax for the year on your electric car. Yeah, so that is a thing. Also, keep in mind there will likely be... See, I'm not completely against the move to electric vehicles. The concept, though, that it's going to save the environment... okay, all you're doing is moving the pollution, moving that to a different thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're now you're going to be dealing with the electric creating the pollution and the disposal of the batteries.
Yeah, do you know how batteries are one of the most toxic items that there are in a garbage dump?
Yep.
Okay, and now how many batteries are we going to be spitting out? We're going to be spitting out bukus of batteries. Keep in mind, those batteries are good for like around 5 years.
Something like that. Okay, now here's two other problems. One, like the Nissan Leaf, it came out that replacing the batteries in that car is almost as much as buying a new car.
I've heard the same thing on the Tesla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's problem A. Problem B, if you're a cold climate person, do we all know what cold does to batteries?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, the other issue is when it's cold out and you have a 300-mile limit on the car and you go out and start your car because you want to warm it up, are you just turning on the electric heater in your car?
That's all you're doing.
And now are you down to 150 miles because you warmed the car up before you went driving?
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I wonder. I mean, it's great to have... there's huge advantages to having a motor on every wheel, especially if you're in a skid condition, like you're coming up the hill here at the radio station early on a snowy morning, and your tires start to spin, and the computer can figure out, okay, this tire's spinning, let's do this, let's do that, and you can keep control of your car. Bukus of advantages of four-wheel drive.
Yes.
But the bad thing is, like, if it's a cold day and I warm the car up, and I spend, 5 minutes warming the car up.
Yep.
Am I like, how much mileage am I losing?
And it also changes the way your car heats the inside because currently it uses a completely different system. It uses a heater core.
It uses the waste heat from your engine.
That's right.
To the heater core.
That's right.
Which puts the heat inside the cabin.
Yes.
Okay, which is basically just a small radiator. And it radiates the heat inside the cabin rather than radiates the heat outside.
That's right.
Okay.
So when you take a look at an electric car,
you got to have an electric heater in there.
That's right.
Electric heaters.
They're a major draw.
Yeah, they're bukus of power.
They are.
In that.
So
now, I got to lose 100 miles because I got to defrost my windshield.
Yeah. And I laughed when I found out, this was like 10 years ago, but that's when electric cars started popping up on the roads about 10 years ago. And people were complaining that you couldn't hear them coming. So they started adding artificial noise to the cars. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you know that there are some sports cars now that actually add engine noise to the cabin?
So just to the cabin, so you can feel like you're driving a Shelby G.
That's right, because the new engines don't have the growl of the old engines, so they're adding artificial engine noise to the cabin.
Yeah, my Nissan Leaf sounds like a Maserati.
It's crazy.
Yeah, indeed. It's crazy. And so is this the wiser thing to have electric cars? Come on.
There's a segue. I smell it right there. Some wisdom.
We do have segues coming along. Yeah, and as we jump into our segue, this segue is brought to you by the folks at NGEMS. Today's Words of Wisdom is brought to you by the folks at NGEMS, who have over 100 years of floor covering experience. And Tony, Mark, and Julie are not only experts in floor covering, they are also experts in saving you money. 2010 Oriskany Street West, 733-0421. And on this Tuesday, December 15th, we are going to Proverbs 15:15. All the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil. Better a small serving of vegetables with love than a fattened calf with hatred. A hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. The way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother.
Sometimes on this journey, I get lost in my mistakes. What looks to me like weakness is a canvas for your strength. And my story isn't over, my story's just begun. And failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Yeah, failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Lay your burdens down. Here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. You're in the Father's house. Arrival's not the end game, the journey's where you are. You never wanted perfect, you just wanted my heart. And the story isn't over if the story isn't good. And failure's never final when the Father's in the room. And failure's never final when the Father's in the room. Lay your burdens down. Here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. You're in the Father's house. Yeah. The Father's house. Prodigals come home, the helpless find hope. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Prison doors swing wide, the dead come to life. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Miracles take place, the cynical find faith, and love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Jericho walls are breaking, strongholds now are shaking. Love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Love is breaking through when the Father's in the room. Lay your burdens down. Here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. You're in the Father's house. Lay your burdens down. Here in the Father's house, check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore. You're in the Father's house.
Corey Asbury right there, the Father's House, WVVC 88.1 FM, 90.9 out there in Johnstown and Gloversville. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, a cold one.
Good morning. A good place to be, the Father's house.
Amen to that.
Yes, indeed.
All of 27 degrees in New Hartford, 21 up here on the hill. My goodness.
57 in Daytona.
So, Walt, let's say we take a walk back in history on this day.
Oh, all right.
All right, let's do that. 1593. Here we go. We're going way back.
Yeah. Wind your watch back.
Way back. 1593, the state of Holland grants a patent on a windmill with a crankshaft.
A patent.
A patent.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Why,
go.
how else was the windmill supposed to work?
That's right.
Oh, well, I guess with the crankshaft, they probably had a bent so they can make the thing go up and down.
Up and down, yep.
And then now they're probably pumping water or something like that.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. In 1664, the English colonized Connecticut. 1664 on this day.
Colonized Connecticut.
1664. In 1791.
Shortly after the Mayflower.
Yes. In 1791, Now, this is when we said that today is Bill of Rights Day.
Yep.
1791, the U.S. Bill of Rights was ratified when Virginia gave its approval, becoming Amendments 1 through 10 of the U.S. Constitution on this day in history.
All righty.
Yeah, in 1792, the first life insurance policy is issued in the United States in Philadelphia.
No kidding.
1792. What I want to know is when the first extended warranty on a vehicle came out, leading to these phone calls.
You know that wagon wheel is going to break.
And speaking of patents, in 1836, on this day, the patent office in Washington, D.C. went up in flames. Yes, it burned down in 1836.
Because somebody was upset about paying the rights on that crankshaft in the windmill.
Apparently. In 1864, on this day, the Battle of Nashville.
The 1864.
1864, the Battle of Nashville.
So we're in the Civil War.
Yes.
The Battle of Nashville.
The Battle of Nashville was a 2-day battle in the Franklin-Nashville campaign that represented the end of large-scale fighting west of the coastal states in the American Civil War.
And the other big thing that I'm going to assume, but one of the things that Grant did is Grant went west, and then he went down the Mississippi or the Missouri and came in from around the Confederate troops.
Yes.
Okay, which was much to their chagrin.
Mm-hmm. In 1874, the first reigning king to visit the U.S. was the King of Hawaii.
No kidding.
Received by President Grant.
Oh, no kidding.
So there you go.
Wow.
In 1917, World War I, an armistice reached between the new Russian Bolshevik government and the Central Powers. Happened on this day in 1917.
The communist revolution is taking place, brother, whether you like it or not.
1938, groundbreaking begins for the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Oh, no kidding.
In 1939, Gone with the Wind, a drama film directed by Victor Fleming and starring Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh, premieres in Atlanta, would go on to win Best Picture of 1940, and to that point, the highest-grossing film of all time.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact.
Now, not only did, in 1939, was Gone with the Wind produced, The Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
And there was also another really big movie. So 1939 is considered the golden age. Yes. That is the golden year of the golden age for the Hollywood master movie making. Which remember, Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz and
yep.
There was another big one that came along.
In 1941, the USS Swordfish becomes the first U.S.
submarine
to sink a Japanese ship.
Oh.
1941. In 1942, Massachusetts issues the first U.S. vehicular license plates.
Oh, no kidding.
There you go. 1942. In 1961, the Equal Access Rule. Political parties get TV broadcasting time. They're guaranteed.
Equal time.
Equal time. And
Didn't that work out well?
Yeah, and that's a thing of the past now. In 1973, American kidnap victim John Paul Getty III freed after a ransom was paid by the oil tycoon grandfather John Paul Getty.
And believe it or not, that is still quite a business.
I bet it is.
Yep, worldwide, it is still quite a business.
I believe it. In 1982, Teamsters President Roy Williams and 4 others convicted of bribery on this day.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. In 1988, Lori Davis of Long Island sues Mike Tyson for grabbing her butt.
Did she win?
on this day in history. 1993, a C-130 flies into a Philippines hill and explodes. 16 people killed.
Oh.
Yes. These next 3 are all aviation related, so that was that one. 2005, the introduction of the F-22 Raptor into U.S. Air Force active service. Yeah, that's a pretty fancy jet right there.
Yes, they are. They are
F-22
quite fancy,
Raptor.
and there is actually I can't remember if it's the F-22 or the F-35, but there is most of the fighters we build like that we will allow to export to friendly countries.
Yes.
I think it's the F-22. We will not allow export of the F-22 because it's got so much fancy stuff in it.
Yeah.
that we won't sell it.
Yeah.
Unless Biden's already kind of like
Biden's probably made a deal there. And in 2009, Boeing's brand spanky, shiny new 787 Dreamliner makes its maiden flight from Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
So there you go. And that's a look at this day in history. And your weather forecast brought to you by Forever Leather.
Forever Leather, where Charlie Seeley has got a herd of jackets and coats and leather goods that will keep you warm this winter.
Yeah, that's what they say.
He's got cool hats and also the big gloves. You know, and if you're a motorcycle fan, he's also even got some of those fancy helmets. Didn't you say he's got the flip-top helmets?
Yes, he's got
flip front face helmets.
Yes, they're. I'm trying to remember what they're called, but they're very cool. You know,
yeah, you keep your helmet on, you just flip up the front.
Yeah, it's not just the visor. The whole front of the thing comes up. It's very cool. It's a convertible.
Spiffy.
Forever Leather down there in the New Hartford Shopping Center. 315-734-0922 is their phone number.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James of the quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, we will see partly cloudy skies as our highs will be in the upper 20s. For tonight, skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy as our lows will be in the teens. For tomorrow, Wednesday, look for cloudy skies with a chance for snow showers later in the day. Our highs will be in the mid-20s. For Wednesday night, we are watching for a potential winter storm as we will see cloudy skies with occasional snow showers. We could see about 1 to 3 inches of snow as our lows will be near 20. For the long-range outlook, we will see partly cloudy skies into the weekend with chances for rain and snow showers in the new week. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
We're the Valley Voice for Christ. 88.1 and 90.9 WVVC Dolesville and WNGG Gloversville. Merry Christmas from WVVC.
tell you, I'm kind of looking forward to Christmas vacation myself. Yeah, that would be that beautiful week between Christmas and New Year's when the Breakfast Club will be Memorex.
Ah,
as opposed to live.
We will only be here digitally.
That's right. Is it live or is it Memorex? Yeah. So let's get to the wild, wild west here on the Breakfast Club.
Oh boy!
Now your local headlines from the Breakfast Club.
All right, Utica police investigating another shooting in the city of Utica. This time on the 1300 block of Mary Street. Happened yesterday evening. UPD were dispatched to St. Elizabeth's Hospital around 8:40 in the evening regarding a walk-in gunshot victim. When they got there, they were directed to a woman who was located in one of the trauma rooms. She had a gunshot wound to her mid-back area.
Oh, boy.
Apparently, you can't go out in public right now in the city of Utica. It's crazy. Police say the shooting happened on the 1300 block of Mary Street. A woman was seated in a vehicle and was struck by gunfire.
She was seated in a car?
In a car, and somehow got struck in the back with a bullet, which means it had to go through the side of the car, through the seat, and into her back.
Wow.
Yeah, so for those who roll their windows up and lock their doors when they drive through that section of town, that doesn't always help. At this time, no suspect information out there, and they're asking for anybody who has information to contact the UPD Major Crimes Unit at 315-223-3556. Or you can submit a 100% anonymous tip online through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers at MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com. And you know what's funny? It's not funny, but up till 100 years or so ago, dealing with your disputes in a duel was actually legal. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Till Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. Meet me in the.
It was perfectly legal, whether you like it or not.
Yep. Meet me in the town square at high noon. Let's settle this. That was a deal. That was a real thing. And UPD have identified the victim in another fatal shooting. This one happened early Monday morning. Police say 17-year-old Jazir Johnson was shot to death on the 1400 block of City Street right around midnight. That would be the 8th homicide in the city for 2020. 8.
Wow.
Crazy. Police say their investigation continues. Anybody with information, again, asked to contact the UPD Major Crimes Unit at 315-223-3556 or MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com. Also, let's talk about COVID because nobody's talking about that right now.
No, nobody.
Nobody anywhere. Haven't heard anything. What's this COVID thing you're talking about?
Right.
A large portion of Oneida County now under the state's COVID-19 yellow zone guidelines.
Yellow alert.
We mentioned
Yellow alert.
We mentioned this yesterday that on Friday, Pacente said that we could expect to be under some kind of well, here we are. We are now yellow.
So what are they clamping down now?
Speaking of high noon, now we're yellow. Oh, my goodness.
Nobody calls me yellow.
Governor Andrew Cuomo announced this on Monday. The yellow zone covers a large section of Oneida County. Basically, if you're measuring diagonally, Lee Center to just over, that's to the northwest, to just over the Herkimer County line on the southeast side. Does include Utica and Rome.
Okay.
Yes. So, Cuomo was quoted as saying, Rome, Utica, and Oneida County, there's a problem there, and we have to start being honest about it. Restrictions in the yellow zone include public indoor gatherings limited to 25 people. Indoor dining is allowed, but your family better not be bigger than 4 people because only 4 people.
Oh.
4 people.
So you can't have 2.3 kids.
That's correct.
You can only have 2.
You can only have 2. That's right. And restaurants and bars must close at 10 p.m.
Okay.
Yep, private in-home gatherings. Yes, you, that person who paid for his home and pays his taxes. You can only have 10 people in your home. So says the Gov. I'm wondering, we're talking about that road tax. I wonder if the money that he's taking out for the state is going to new robes and scepters for our emperor.
I think you're right, yeah.
I wonder if that's what's going on. And, yes, businesses can stay open and schools as well.
businesses and schools
Yes.
stay open.
They can stay open. Ain't that nice of the emperor to say that they can stay
they can
open?
get tested and tested and tested.
Tested and tested and
Radio.
tested. They can stick that Q-tip up their nose and tickle their brain.
Did you get one
once
of those?
a day. I have not gotten the brain tickle yet.
Before Thanksgiving, Miss Kimmy and I went to Griffiths to the testing center.
Yeah?
To get the swab to find out if you do have a brain behind your eyeballs.
Yeah. I gotta wonder if they leave a bruise when they stick that up there into the front cortex.
Yeah,
there
it
of
is
your
somewhere
brain.
behind your eyeball. It must be where the COVID germs lie.
Yeah. Yet you can infect somebody less than 6 feet away. But to test for it, they have to stick a Q-tip, down into your soul in order to see if you have it.
Miss Kimmy was highly discomforted. I was like, but Miss Kimmy was like,
yeah, no thanks.
Yeah,
not a fan.
That's what she did, and we only did it because we were going down to Brooklyn.
Yeah,
and Miss Katie had gotten off of a project where she actually had to stay quarantined because somebody she worked with directly on the film had gotten COVID.
Yep.
And so they just quarantined her.
Yeah.
And so she had to stay out. So she was kind of like, so we just wanted to be sure that,
you didn't
as
have
we
it.
go down, that we're not going to be bringing it down with us.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, can I just lick the Q-tip, please? I'd rather not have it stuck up my nose, just saying.
And actually, what's funny is I have had this because I have had gigs where I have had to go and do things, and they did the 20-minute thing, and they put it in your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's no better.
Well, no, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just the throat. Like doing a little swabby thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or no, one of them was actually just inside the nose, not up inside the sinus. And another one was like a throat swab.
Yeah, they're sticking the Q-tip straight back into your will to live. It's like,
how did you know it was back there?
It's like, oh man, no tanks.
A little too much fun.
A little too much fun. 11 minutes past 8 o'clock in your WVVC gas tracker, brought to you by Big Dog Motors.
Big Dog Motors, where Todd Gookin's got everything you need to keep your wheels rolling smooth. He's got the mechanical shop, he's got the body shop, and if you are in need of the body shop and perhaps you might need a little help with your deductible, he can help you out with that too.
Yeah.
You can also go online and schedule any appointments that you need online.
Yeah, they got a cool setup there. 315-444-9028 is the number. BigDogMotorsInc.com is the web address. They're located at 4262 Acme Road in Frankfort. Make sure you tell them you heard it here on WVVC. And your cheapest gas today, Speedway on Commercial Drive and Greenman Avenue, right near New York Mills, $2.17. Mohawk Fuel is the same, $2.17 today. Burn Dairy on Oriskany Boulevard, $2.19. Sunoco and A Plus on Kellogg Road, $2.19. Speedway on North Genesee Street, $2.19. Speedway on Oriskany Boulevard, $2.19. Kitty Drugs down there in Whitesboro, $2.19. And that concludes our $2.19 Club. Burn Dairy on Route 5 and Clinton Roads, $2.27. Citgo on Commercial Drive there in New York Mills is $2.29. And Sunoco on Mohawk and Eagle is $2.32. Most expensive gas reporting today is Fast Track on Herkimer Road down there in Schuyler, $2.41. So what's going on outside the area, Walt?
Well, Al, I'm wondering now that looks like Biden is going to be our next president. I wonder how long it's going to be before we're saying 419.
Yeah,
519.
I know. And see, I posted this last night, and I know that not everybody agrees with me, but I think we have a socioeconomic nightmare on the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
When you've got a party in power that thinks that redistribution of wealth is a good idea, that thinks that overregulating businesses is a good idea, that thinks that giving everybody free health care is a good idea. Nothing's free, folks. Let's throw this out there. Mm-hmm. Nothing is free. Mm-hmm. There is no such thing. The free college, free health care, it's not free.
What happened to health care under Obama? The cost of health care skyrocketed.
Yes.
Skyrocketed.
Unless you were
And they
poor.
weren't done.
Unless you were poor. If you made nothing, You know, if you were like in the 20 or 30,000 club and you had a big family, okay, well then your health care is covered. But can I tell you a secret about your health care? It sucks.
Yeah.
You know,
you got the Canadian health care.
Pretty much.
You know, you got you got a disease that you got 3 months to live. Well, get in the 6 month line.
Get in the 6 month line.
Yeah, and you know, we'll take care of it as soon as we can see you.
And what
unless you're a political elite.
That's right.
Then we'll see you right away, sir.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's one of those things where you start once you start to put a single payer health line or healthcare system in place, you lose the ability to pay. You know, like to work outside that system.
Right.
So it doesn't matter at that point.
Yep. Like actually, when the Obamacare thing came around, or before it was enforced. I actually paid for an osteopath. Okay. We went to a doctor that used much more natural type healing, and rather than feed you the big pharma thing product for your condition, she would try to find as much natural type related and see how you would react and carry things that way.
Yeah.
And actually, that's how I found out that I had my allergies to wheat.
Yeah.
Okay. I found out that I had that condition, and it was actually kind of like an experience for me to find out. Oh, instead of like just taking a pill, or doing something stupid, she said, no, here's what you're going to do. You're going to change your habits on this, and you're going to change your habits on that. And it was like, started getting better. Wow, hey, this is pretty cool. But it was an option for me. Now, if I were under the Obama system, I would be going through the big hospital, normal medical type thing. And the doctor would try to process me as fast as the doctor could, because the doctor, who spent about $1 million getting trained, I think it's around $750,000 for a doctor to get to the point where the doctor can be a doctor.
Yep.
Okay. They have to process these people because they have to pay for their education loans and pay for their house and pay for their family.
And anybody who works in the medical field who knows what Medicaid pays them versus what an out-of-the-pocket or somebody else pays, they get paid fractionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of doctors that won't even take Medicaid.
Yes.
And I remember that after I had to leave my osteopath and I had to get back onto Obamacare.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go back to the old doctor that I was going to. They said, nope, we no longer accept patients like you.
Yeah.
So actually they found out that I had a track record with them a few years back. So luckily I was able to get back in. But originally they did not want me. They did not want, one of those low-paying medical kind of things. It's like, no, we don't want you guys.
And here's the other problem with being a doctor in 2020. You have to carry malpractice insurance.
Oh, the malpractice thing, yes.
And get sued one too many times for malpractice, which, by the way, can happen for anything because we do live in what we call a litigious society.
Yes.
When you've got commercials on TV, have you taken the drug, yada, yada, yada. You may be entitled to yada, yada, yada.
Call us. We're going to put money in your pocket. Right.
If you or someone you love has suffered from death. Wait a minute. Are you coming back from the grave to sue?
Right. You can't take it with you, so give it to us.
Give it to us.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of litigations and arguing over things and stuff, Biden was giving a speech last night as he accepted the election results because the Electoral College met yesterday and put Biden over the 270 that's needed to become the president. Okay. And in his speech, he was actually divisive.
Yeah.
Instead of like trying to bring the nation together, he wasn't that kind to people that argued this was not a free and fair election. As a matter of fact, he said, yes, it was a free and fair election. He was angry, partisan on his speech, and being voted on 2020 by the Electoral College. Now, I am told via Miss Kimmy there is another option that is still available out there. Okay? If 2 congressmen and 2 senators stand up and object, then it can go to a vote in the House where I believe it is one of the states are allowed to make a vote, and the senators are allowed to make a vote. So there is actually something that is out there that is still in a crux.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not very big. It's not very well known. And actually, but Miss Kimmy did bring it up this morning as I was heading out, and I just thought I'd let you know that there is still a very unused loophole.
Yeah.
That is still out there. But to actually see Mr. Biden actually get elected, and then for him to claim that there was no cheating and that it was free and fair, is like the hood did not go over my eyes.
Yeah.
So I've seen all sorts of stuff. And what's also kind of funny is Biden seemed annoyed that Trump had contested the results at all. Okay, it's not like, remember when in Florida, when they had 3 counties, and they spent 39 days recounting just 3 counties, and Al Gore lost.
Yep.
Okay. We have done recounts, but we counted them the same way we counted them the first time, and we knew that the first time it was fraudulent then. So why are you counting it again the same way when actually, you know, in Georgia they have been asking for a signature audit of the votes, not just
a
recount.
recount.
We don't want a recount. Yeah, we want an audit. But even the Republicans refused to do that for whatever strange reason there may be down there in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. Biden is also one of the Obama administration officials who unmasked Michael Flynn. You're not supposed to unmask. Okay, that's actually against the law to unmask people like that as part of an effort to undermine the incoming administration. Yeah. So they've been undermining Trump since before he was president.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Biden was one of those people that was in on the undermining. He also eagerly agreed with a voter who called Trump an illegitimate president. So now you got some guy that was elected by chicanery.
Chicanery.
Yeah. And so is he the illegal president now? And he also called Trump a Nazi sympathizer and compared him to Joseph Goebbels and to Adolf Hitler, and has never apologized for said statement.
Imagine.
He said the election was free and fair.
Can I tell you something? If it wasn't so sad, watching Joe Biden give a speech would be one of the funnier things you could do with your day.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's leading our country. So the comedy is gone.
Yeah.
You know?
And Biden also continued on reminding Americans that Trump had fired cybersecurity chief Chris Krebs after he claimed publicly that the 2020 elections were the most secure in history.
Which is crap. Absolute crap.
But Krebs looks decidedly less credible, I'm reading here from Breitbart Report, on a day when Google and other networks crashed, and after a weekend where the U.S. discovered massive security breach at the Treasury and Commerce Departments.
Yep.
Who would want a security leak in the Treasury Department? I would. Yeah. I could make out like a bandit with a security leak in the Treasury Department, huh? Oh, no. The breach began earlier this year, lasted for months.
And they just found
This is the cybersecurity chief that said everything was perfect. Okay? So while we're talking about cybersecurity, why don't we just jump right over there to Michigan, where the electronic polling machines, they tested them in one county, and they found a 68% error rate in this county in Michigan, testing these polling machines. 68% error rate. Absolutely astounding. And the only reason that this 68% came out is because a judge ordered the results of this investigation to be released. The Democrats tried to keep it undercover.
Yeah.
Now, why are they keep trying to hide things? Okay? They don't want these results out. They don't want poll watchers.
Yeah.
When they're counting the mail-in ballots, they don't want any Republican poll watchers there. Okay? Yeah. As a matter of fact, they don't want Republican poll watchers to the point where not only do they have to stand 1,000 feet away, then they start putting cardboard over the windows.
Yep.
Okay? So why are you hiding so much stuff if everything is free and fair?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like
sounds a little
Big
fishy.
Brother is telling me. Okay, and on top,
I was going to say the news about these polling machines. Okay, so if I hold my breath until CNN reports it, will you promise to come to my funeral?
Yes.
Because that's how that's going to be.
I know. I know. It's an absolute shame, and a big story that I'm really not putting up on here is actually the massive cover-up by the mainstream media and by the masters of the universe, who would be Google, Twitter, YouTube, all those big guys out there. Okay, so let's add to the misery of this election. Michigan Republican electors were blocked from entering the Capitol under the governor's orders by state police.
Yep.
So you had Republicans that were entering the state Capitol legislative building, and there's an armed cop telling them they cannot come in.
Yes. And we were talking about this last hour. The reason why they wanted to get in during this process is because, like right now, in at least 4 states, Republican electors cast their ballots for Donald Trump. Why? Because there are those legal battles going on.
There are disputes.
That's right.
And now a vote has been made if it's overturned.
That's right.
Okay, and the vote was made in time on the date that it was supposed to be made.
That's right.
And there were other states where these same votes were made, where the Republicans showed up in states like Arizona,
Pennsylvania,
Nevada, where there is an argument going on, and at least the Republican contingent voted for the Republicans.
Yep.
They were not kicked out of their legislative house, though.
Yeah, that's right.
And why is the Governor Whitmer, an executive branch person, saying what goes on in the legislative building, and why is she using the cops to keep duly elected officials from assembling in their official building?
Yeah, it's called an overstep of authority, and Democrats love to do that.
Who's the Nazi now?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, that's a guy. Why is she stepping in and doing this? If it's not going to count, it's not going to count.
That's
but,
right.
at least let them go through the actions. At least let them peaceably assemble and legally assemble.
Yeah.
Okay? But she actually gets a cop to keep them out of the legislative building.
Yeah, it's insane.
Astounding.
Yep.
Let's see. The other thing that happened during Joe Biden's speech, after the speech, he refused to talk about his son. And he refused to take any questions from the press on his son's legal troubles.
Imagine.
Although this has been dominating the news cycle for days and days, and it has come out, and it has also come out that Attorney General Barr sat on this, that he knew about the laptop, about what it discloses between him and his father, and the illegal money that he has received from China and from Burisma.
Yeah.
And there's a direct connection. Attorney General Barr, who is now resigned and is going to be leaving the Trump administration on the 23rd of December, just in time for Christmas Eve. Biden refused to answer the question, and all he said to the reporter was, "Thanks for the congratulations, appreciate it." It's like, no, you are one of the most crooked families in American political history after the Clintons.
Yeah.
Okay? I was asking you about your crooked son and your crooked dealings.
Yeah.
Okay? And now, can you imagine if they looked into the Biden family the same way they have looked into Trump? I mean, they started looking into Trump before he became president. So why don't we give Biden equal time?
Yeah.
Okay? Can you imagine start going into this? You are going to find so many shenanigans, it's going to make your head spin.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's being propped up by the media and by social media is like just astounding.
It really
you know
is.
that the swamp is so huge. The swamp is not a swamp; it's an ocean.
It is a mucky ocean.
So during his speech, Biden said he had a bit of a cold because he had to cough and sneeze his way through kind of thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he doesn't have COVID or anything like that, anybody. Maybe Kamala is like ready.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, also in all of this, Hillary Clinton calls for abolishing the Electoral College after she cast her electoral vote.
Hillary Clinton needs to shut up. That's all I've got to say. You know, the founding fathers were a little smarter than Hill Dog.
Yeah. So I mentioned that Attorney General Barr is resigning. They are leaving on what appears to be amicable terms, but who knows what's really going on underneath. And the fact that really I was expecting more from Attorney General Barr. I was really hoping that a lot of the illegal investigations and everything like that with Comey, with the FBI and the CIA and the illegal eavesdropping and what they've done to General Flynn, and now he's walking away from it. I was really hoping that more would come out because now, since the Clintons, there has been huge amounts of cover-ups, okay, and there is a long line of dead bodies.
Oh, yeah.
That go back, even though the media doesn't report on it. So I would really like to see a lot more be coming out in the truth where it would be known to the American public.
Yeah. Well, certain people don't ever pay a price for their crimes, so.
We're seeing it with our own eyes.
Yep.
All right, it is time for the bottom of the hour weather, which is brought to you by the folks at Media Partners Group. Media Partners Group can take your old videotapes, your old films, and your old slides and get them converted to digital. Whether you want them DVD, thumb drive, or hard drive, that can be up to you. 768 is their phone number. 768-0277 is their phone number, and they're located at 188 Main Street in New York Mills.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James of the quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, we will see partly cloudy skies as our highs will be in the upper 20s. For tonight, skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy as our lows will be in the teens. For tomorrow, Wednesday, look for cloudy skies with a chance for snow showers later in the day. Our highs will be in the mid-20s. For Wednesday night, we are watching for a potential winter storm as we will see cloudy skies with occasional snow showers. We could see about 1 to 3 inches of snow as our lows will be near 20. For the long-range outlook, we will see partly cloudy skies into the weekend with chances for rain and snow showers in the new week. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
Best part of waking up is The Breakfast Club, WVVC 88.1 FM.
If I told you my story, you would hear hope that wouldn't let go. And if I told
This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. I woke up in darkness, surrounded by silence. So where have I gone? I woke to reality, losing its grip on me. Oh, where have I gone? 'Cause I can see the light before I see the sunrise. You called and you shouted, broke through my deafness. Now I'm breathing in and breathing out. I'm alive again. You shattered my darkness, washed away my blindness. Now I'm breathing in and breathing out. I'm alive again. Late have I loved you. You waited for me, I searched for you. What took me so long? I was looking outside, as if love would ever want to hide. I'm finding I was wrong, 'cause I can feel the wind before it hits my skin. You called and you shouted, broke through my deafness. Now I'm breathing in and breathing out. I'm alive again. You shattered my darkness, washed away my blindness. Now I'm breathing in and breathing out. I'm alive
It's Matt Maher on WVVC 88.1 FM, a Tuesday morning. Cold out there.
Yeah, 23 whole degrees in Herkimer.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you live south of the Mohawk Valley, tomorrow night, it's going to be a little bit on the white side.
Yes, we're going to get a few inches of snow.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 3 is what they're saying right now, but that could change because the track of the storm, if it does come more north,
oh yeah,
will be more on the +3 side.
And we'll keep an eye on that. You know, it should be really interesting to see how this thing tracks out. I know I saw the projected radar, which shows this really interesting spinning kind of storm near
mid-latitude migrating frontal cyclone.
Something like that. Yes, what you said, and that's going to be what's kicking our snow this way.
They call it a mid-latitude migrating frontal cyclone because it'll start around the panhandle of Oklahoma kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the mid-latitudes, around the 30s or 40s.
Yep.
It migrates across the Midwest, will head to the east, and then start to go up the coast. So it's a frontal cyclone, a front.
Mhm.
Okay, mid-latitude migrating frontal cyclone.
Interesting.
Sounds pretty fancy, but it just means that there's a front that's going to go across the panhandles and come up the coast.
Yeah. It's going to be snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, who gets the most is going to be the lotto for the weekend, you know?
Yeah. Will it be more the Pennsylvania side of things, or will it be more upstate side of things?
Yeah. Now, here's the funny thing. Okay, the meteorologists here in Utica are saying, there's a good chance this is going to miss us, quote unquote. I'm going to keep that us in quotes, to the south. And what he means by that is I'm going to get it where I live. But, yeah, the folks...
Al, you're only, 10 miles south of the station?
I am 20 or 25 miles south of the station. I am in West Exeter. Yes.
It's that far south.
It takes me
As the crow flies?
It takes me a half hour to get home.
Okay.
Pretty much straight on. Yes, and it's just far enough south into what we call the southern valleys that we get a different weather.
You get a different zone.
Yeah, we kind of do. You'll see during the weathercast, a lot of times they'll say, and this is going to be for south of Route 20. Well, that's me.
Yep.
South of Route 20, So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
And I remember the different climatology that we have here in Central New York, because when I was a kid, we lived up in Lee Center.
Yeah.
And we lived up in Lee Center.
Up in Lee Center. Yes.
Yep. We were on what they call the Tug Hill Plateau.
Oh, yeah.
We were in that part of Lee Center. Near the Point Rock, and then if you go past Point Rock, you fall off the end of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, we lived in that part of Lee Center. So it would be funny because we are up there on the hill, and we would get, waist-deep snow. And then we would come down off the hill, and it would be like, wow, they've only got it like knee-deep.
Yeah.
And we would get into Rome, and it they only got it boots deep. And we would go to Utica, and it would be ankle deep. And I'm like, this is not fair.
Well, it's funny. After this whole thing hits this week, I get to teach my children a lesson. It's the lesson of shovel-ready jobs.
Now, do you have the stimulus package for these shovel-ready jobs?
Yes, we call that hot cocoa. Shovel-ready jobs.
I think maybe they should have tried that before. You'd save the money, save the country a lot of money, right?
I bet.
Yeah.
So I want to remind everybody that WVVC is listener-supported.
Yes, indeed we are. We do need you.
We do.
Yes, and not only do we really appreciate your company with us as we join here in the morning, but we would also ask for your financial assistance.
Yes.
We are listener-supported, and if you do go to WVVCutica.com, there is a donate button.
Yes.
And you can click on the donate button, and you could do a monthly recurring donation to us if you would be so kind. You could do $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, something like that.
That would be amazing.
Or you could do a one-time sum if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would also be wonderful.
Yeah, all you got to do is go to WVVCutica.com, click on that donate button, and there's also our address, which is 1017 Higbee Road, New Hartford, New York, 13413. That is on the website. If you didn't remember my quickly saying it, WVVCutica.com, right on the main page, it's there.
Yes, indeedy. And we really would appreciate it. And as always, we would like to gently remind you that if you wanted to send a C-130 full of cash, preferably to Griffiths, but we will go to an airport of your choice.
Yes.
Al and I will personally help you unload.
If you are the prince of a small country.
Yeah,
and have
small sandy climate country,
and you have some cash laying around. You can go ahead and fly it in. That'd be awesome.
Yes, indeed. Or we might be able to plant a helicopter here.
Yeah, put a helicopter pad out here.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yep.
Yeah, perfect stuff. Perfect stuff.
Yes, indeed. But we do thank you just for joining us. And the other thing that you can do for us is just your prayers.
Yes, very much so.
Or hitting the like button. If you happen to be hearing us on the radio.
Sharing our wonderful posts on social media.
Yeah, that would be great.
Absolutely.
But we do appreciate you.
We really do. We really do. And, we're coming to a close here. We're getting to the end of our morning. It's 8:47 right now. Getting to the end of the morning.
Getting to the end of our morning. And at the end of our morning, we do like to leave you with a good word. And today, the good word is brought to you by the good folks at NGEMS, who have over 100 years of floor covering experience. NGEMS is at 2010 Oriskany Street West, 733-0421. And today's good word is going to come from Luke 1:30. But the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over Jacob's descendants forever. His kingdom will never end."
Amen.
All right, everybody. So with those good words, Al and I will bid you good day, and take care, everyone, until tomorrow here on The Breakfast Club.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody.
Last night put the heavy on me. Woke up and I'm feeling lonely. This world got a way of showing me. Some days it'll lift you up, some days it'll call you bluff. Man, most of my days I ain't got enough.